Okay, y'all, it is 3:30 in the afternoon, and I completely forgot I was supposed to be talking to you. Hello, my book friends, and welcome to day one of my N.E.W.T.s Magical Readathon daily vlogs. Yes, you heard that right. I plan on vlogging every single day of this readathon. In today's vlog, we're going to talk reading plans for the month, which career I plan on going for, what classes I have to pass, what grade I have to get in each test. Before we start talking about my TBR, I just wanted to let everyone know what the N.E.W.T.s were. If you don't know, if you possibly don't know, it is a month-long Harry Potter themed readathon created by G from Book Roast. I'll link her down below. I'll link her announcement video for the N.E.W.T.s, and then you can go on a hunt from her channel. This year, G added a little special something where it's a career guide and you get to choose which career you wanted to go for. And you could take your exams based off of your career. I personally have chosen Mind Medic. And while I could technically choose any career because I passed all of my OWLs back in April, I am going to go with my initial selection, which was Mind Medic. So let's just jump in to which exams I have to pass for the career of Mind Medic and which book I've chosen for each grade. First, I have to get an outstanding in Charms, which means I have to choose 3 books. There are different grades for each exam. There's acceptable, which is first, exceeds expectations, and outstanding. So if you have to get an O in a subject, you have to read all 3. A little disclaimer, I am very, very bad at summarizing books, and so these really are not going to be good summaries if there's even a summary at all, but I'm going to try my best. For y'all, I'll try my best. To get an acceptable grade in Charms, you have to read a book that you think has a gorgeous cover, and I have chosen Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is the Owl Crate edition. I have already started this one. This is the first book I've decided to read. I started at 2:30 this morning. I could not sleep. It was awful, but I got about 30 pages into it and loved what I had read. Those 30 pages hooked me. And then I woke up this morning and after I finally fell asleep and started reading again, I got 60 pages in. So yeah, this is what I plan on finishing first. To get an exceeds expectations in Charms, you have to read a graphic novel, comic, etc., or a book that's under 150 pages. And I chose this little Doctor Who. This is the 6th Doctor. You're going to see a lot of these in here because I have a set of 12, and I had planned at the beginning of the year to read one each month, and I did good up until April, and then I stopped. So I have 5 books to catch up on, and I'm throwing them all in here to give myself easier reads. And to get an outstanding in Charms is to read a paperback, and I have again Doctor Who. This is the 7th Doctor. And again, I have no idea what it's about, except it's about the 7th Doctor. So these are the books I plan on reading to pass my N.E.W.T.s in Charms. Next, I have to get an O in Defense Against the Dark Arts. To get an acceptable grade in Defense Against the Dark Arts is to read a book that is black under the dust jacket. And I have chosen Rebel Spring, and yes, this is a paperback, but I own a lot of the hardbacks in this series, and they all have black under the dust jacket, so I can only assume that this one would be black under the dust jacket. This is book 2 in the Fallen Kingdom series. I read the first one back in December, and I've been meaning all year to continue and keep putting it off. So for acceptable in Defense Against Dark Arts, Rebel Springs. The prompt for Exceeds Expectations in Defense Against the Dark Arts is Gilderoy's Memory Charm. And basically, when you read that, the first book that pops into your head is the book that you're supposed to read. And the first book that popped in my head, and this is going to glare like crazy, Strange the Dreamer. Again, this is another book I've been wanting to read all year. I actually started listening to this at the beginning of the year and just never continued, though I'm not sure why, because I loved it. I have literally read the prologue like 6 times. It's one of my favorite prologues ever. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but it's a thing. So, Exceeds Expectations, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. And for an outstanding grade in Defense Against the Dark Arts is to read a book by an English author or set in England. And I have chosen another Doctor Who. This is the 4th one. It's written by an author, Philip Reeve, and it says he lives in England. So there we go. And those are the books I plan on reading for Defense Against the Dark Arts. Next, I have to get an E in Muggle Studies. To get an acceptable in Muggle Studies is to read a book with a photo element on it. And I have, again, Doctor Who. This is the 5th one, and it has broccoli on it. That's a thing. And then to get Exceeds Expectations is to read a book set in our world, in the real world. And I have chosen Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I don't know what this one's about. It's a contemporary. That's what she writes. I like all of her other books I've read, and so I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for a contemporary. So that's why I've chosen it. And here we have the books I've chosen to get Exceeds Expectations in Muggle Studies. Next is Potions, and I have to get an Exceeds Expectations. To get an acceptable is to read a friend's favorite book. And I decided to choose a book from one of my Bookstagram friends, Cheryl. I will leave her in the description box. I adore her. She did a series on some of her underrated favorite books, and this was one of them. It is The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli. It's about dragons. This is another one that I've started and then stopped. It's pretty on brand for me. I've been really excited to read this one. I don't know why I haven't yet, but this month is a good time. And then for Exceeds Expectations in Potions is to read a book with your house color on the cover. If I said that right. And I'm a Ravenclaw, and so I've chosen Truth Witch. I actually chose this out of my TBR jar in the month of July, but I did not read much in July, so I'm just moving it over. Another one I started. I'm going to have to start over, but here we are. Truth Witch, Ravenclaw. These are the books I plan on reading to pass Potions. And last but not least, I have to get an Exceeds Expectations in Transfiguration. To receive an acceptable is to read an LGBTQ+ book. I don't have much to say about this. I'm really excited to read it. Then to get an Exceeds Expectations in Transfiguration is to read a book that's not the first in the series. So a sequel, basically. And I have decided to read A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the last book in the Darker Shade of Magic series. I read the first 2 at the beginning of the year. I'm really nervous to read this one because of how the second one ended. I'm nervous. That's all I gotta say. But I really want to read it. So that's why I chose it. And here we have books for Transfiguration. And there we have it. Those are all the books I have chosen to become a Mind Medic. Please let me know down below if you are participating in the N.E.W.T.s, and if you are, what career you are going for. If you have a TBR video, or if you're vlogging, or anything of that nature, I'd love to check them out as well. And that's that. I will talk to y'all very soon. We had a casualty. Alright y'all, so I just finished filming my TBR for the N.E.W.T.s, and it's probably a hot mess, and I apologize for that. But I'll get used to talking to a camera, right? Maybe? Anyway, it's about 4:30 and I'm going to start reading again. I'm going to sit down and start reading Sorcery of Thorns. I don't know how long I'm going to read. We'll see. I gotta make dinner soon. But